Hi, and welcome to Astro Bites for Saturday, the 28th of September, 2024. So let's have a look at the astrology for the day and see how we're getting on. And then we will have our word of the day. Well, it's actually 3 words. It's another little group of words that has been passed on from one of you to me. And I thought, okay, let's have a look at it. But we come to that in the second half of this video. So let's look at the astrology. Well, the moon is of course in Leo. It went into Leo yesterday, and this morning it's actually it's been squaring Venus in Scorpio, and we had this a little bit yesterday. And so what the moon is doing, it's the only real aspect it's making, is asking us again not to be too reactive and feeling based, in the sense of wanting to put ourselves out there if we're not really kind of confident enough to say what we need to say. Basically, I think what I'm saying is that there's something about this astrology that is saying, shut up. Be mindful of how you communicate with others today. Mercury is conjunct the Sun in Libra, in the 3rd house, which of course is the house of communication. And they are also conjunct the South Node. I think this would actually be a good day, even though it's a Saturday, to go over papers and things that you need to that you haven't dealt with, emails. Give some attention to cleaning up, say, your computer, deleting emails, doing all those kind of boring little fiddly jobs that we never have time to do. And then a little bit later today, go out and do something fun. You know, if I just go on 12 hours, which brings us to, oh, no, it doesn't. Hang on. Let me just go on 12 hours. There we go. Let's go on 12 hours, and which brings us to the afternoon. Let's see what's happening in the afternoon. You see, oh, wonderful. This looks much better, much more interesting. So this morning, I think it's about just doing the things that you need to do, the chores, even if it's doing the housework or the dishwasher, unstacking it, stacking it, washing it if you don't have one, doing the washing even. So there's something about that today. But today, this afternoon, we've got an aspect building between retrograde Saturn in Pisces and Mars in Cancer, and it's a trine. So this is helpful. So Saturn is saying that this afternoon, there is actually much more scope for, I think, a little bit of fun and some relaxing time, and actually just taking things slow. It would be a great time to just sit back and, you know, actually just watch a really good film, something like that, or go and, you know, if you're a sports person and there are games on somewhere, then go and watch a match and get out in the fresh air and enjoy life. By this afternoon, the moon is making a sextile to Jupiter, so that difficult energy of this morning where everything that comes out of our mouth will be wrong. So I suggest you don't talk to anyone this morning, because the energy this afternoon is much better. And I think you'll find you'll be coming up with the right kind of things to say and the right kind of opportunities to say them. Interestingly, Pluto is on the ascendant of this chart. Remember, Pluto is retrograde at that anaretic degree of Capricorn, underlined in red crayon, emphasizing its energy. And because it's on the ascendant, it feels to me as if there is something here about, if you take some time out to just be on your own today as well, there can be some inner transformation that takes place. it's good energy to meditate with, because Pluto is still trining Mercury, our planet of communication. Even though it's moved into Libra, there is still the out of sign trine. So it really feels as if it would be beneficial to be very kind and gentle to yourself and do a little bit of inner reflection. We've had some quite thought-provoking words over the last few days, so perhaps a little bit of self-analysis and, maybe read some self-help books or look something up about what you feel and look at what gets said on Google or ChatGPT. Venus is on the midheaven of this chart in Scorpio. So ultimately, I think we can have quite a comfortable day. It may be a little bit deep at times, but hey, if we don't go deep, we don't learn, we don't find out, we don't know. Let's move on to our phrase for the day, because it is a phrase today. And I have to say, when this was popped in the notes or in the comments, I know the saying, but I had no idea what it meant. I do now. I kind of knew, but it's one of those sayings that we say and we don't really fully actually understand it. Well, you're going to understand it now. It's quid pro quo. And it's a Latin phrase that means something for something. So it refers to an exchange. So one thing can be given in return for another of similar value. So it's like you book an astrology session with me for my time and my expertise in astrology, and you give me something in exchange for that. And, do remember to go to my website, pennydix.com, and book a session. There are some sessions still in October and November available. So, and they are suitable for people in the United States, the timing that is available. So have a check of that. And so it's about reciprocal arrangements of mutual benefit. And it is where we have to provide something in exchange for something else. It can be used a lot in legal or political contexts. This is what needs to happen. For instance, in the Middle East, we need a quid pro quo solution. You get something, I get something, mutually beneficial to both sides. And apparently, and I'm looking at the notes here, in legal or political contexts, it can sometimes have negative connotations, especially if it involves unethical exchanges or favors such as bribery or corruption. Doing the laundry, if you know what I mean. However, it can also refer to neutral or positive situations such as business deals or agreements where both parties benefit from a fair trade. So let's see what quotes I found for this. So this is a wonderful one. Quid pro quo. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Fairly self-explanatory. And we often say it without kind of maybe thinking of the actual original Latin meaning. And I wonder if they went round in places like Pompeii and Rome saying, well, quid pro quo, eh? And then scratched each other's backs. And Jim Rohn, spelled R-O-H-N, said, for every promise, there is a price to pay. And, actually it's true. Commitments often come with the expectation of a return. And that is a kind of really big part of quid pro quo. Now, this next one, I'm sure you know very well. It's by Milton Friedman. There are no free lunches. Nothing is truly given without expecting something in return. Everything is transactional in nature. Do you know, I remember when I was with in therapy with one of my long-term therapists when I was training as a therapist, and you have to have therapy, personal therapy, when you're training as a therapist. And she used to say to me, to get something, you have to give something up. Everything comes at a cost. And I hated that. And I hated her at the time. And bless her, she's in her 80s now. And if she's watching, she'll be laughing and giggling to herself, thinking, yeah, I remember saying that. My God, Penny's finally got it. The penny has finally dropped. Yes, it did eventually. It took long enough, but we got there in the end. And yes, there are no free lunches and everything comes at a cost. To get something, you have to give something up. This is rather lovely for the those of you that know the Bible well, because this is Luke 6:38. Give and you shall receive. Often thought as a moral or spiritual context, but it does reflect the principle of reciprocation, which is a key aspect of quid pro quo. And then this is really what I was just explaining about what my therapist used to say to me, a French proverb: in this world, nothing is free. Everything has a price. Saqib Salim said, there is always a give and take in any relationship. That's true too. And Derek Holloway said, every relationship is give and take. You give and take away. There's an Italian proverb which is rather lovely. Favors, like coins, must be returned. I'd love to know what that's in Italian. If there's anyone watching who speaks Italian, let me know what favors like coins must be returned is in Italian. This expresses the idea that favors like financial transactions involve an expectation of repayment. So this is what quid pro quo is. Well, I've certainly learned something today. I've actually learned something every day all this week. I mean, I didn't know this was going to become astrology and a kind of major English language degree that we're having, that we're doing the English vocabulary, but that seems to be what it's become. And, you know, those of you that only stay for the astrology, that's absolutely fine. Those of you that stick around for the English language lessons or English vocabulary lessons, fantastic, because I'm really learning a lot, and I'm sure you are too. So on that note, I've kept it to 13 minutes today. That's good. We're getting there. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for all your comments and your support. Sometimes I'm a bit late reading through all the comments. I get there in the end. So quid pro quo, show me a bit of patience as well, and I'll get there. Anyway, lots of love, and I look forward to seeing you in another Astro Bite tomorrow. Bye for now.